Welcome back. Urban at 9 continues. Now, a body of a man was found at Bad Valley Primary School along Bombo Road in Kampala this morning. The unidentified man was suspected to be a border rider. However, the border riders in the area said this is not the first time a body is found in this place.
The riders have asked security agencies to heighten security in the area since many border riders have been murdered in the same manner. The body of the deceased was later taken by police to Mulago Hospital mortuary.
Security mfu nze mmeti kyembadde ngamba security mfu kyerina kukola balina kulumirirwa abantu nawe wa boda beera security weekoleko security y'amaanyi olabe nti omuntu wootwala ekifo ky'ogenda omuyimirizamu kikyamu nga wano battirawo abantu bangi bwono muvubuka bwagambye.
The police came out around 7:30. So when they came, they went and looked at the body. They have tried to check the body. They found that there are no suspects. It seems the person was killed and they just brought, because we have found there a polythene bag which was there. So in the pool of blood, some numbers have been identified there, and they have gone with it with names in his pocket.
You can't.
Now, the Ministry of Education is to revoke all licenses of teachers who go to classes under the influence of alcohol. The Assistant Commissioner Youth Affairs in the Ministry of Education, Mondo Chateka, said this after a noted sharp increase of teachers consuming alcohol while on duty.
Uganda is the highest consumer of alcohol in the East African region, with over 23 liters per capita of alcohol consumed annually. The consumption of alcohol has affected teachers in most of the rural areas, which has affected their performance.
It's unethical for you to be in class while you are drunk. So the punishment for such people will be to remove, to cancel their teaching licenses. And this also goes to teachers who make our students pregnant. It's unethical. And a teacher who is proven beyond reasonable doubt to be going around with girls in his school, those should also be punished.
This was revealed at a get-together of teachers in the Straight Talk program from different schools that are using the different techniques to address alcohol consumption and related crimes.
The magnitude of underage drinking is actually bigger than we think. Sometimes we think the problem is with the children, but we can see that it is a problem that is deep-rooted right from the homes. You have heard about kids who come and tell you that their mothers brew alcohol to give them to make money in the home, or their fathers are alcohol consumers. And of course, some of the challenges that young people face in their lives is that they lack role models. Some of the role models they have known in their lives are drunken fathers who walk in at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. and beat their wives.
Stakeholders also noted that children at an early age are being exposed to alcohol abuse, a vice that can be addressed through youth livelihood programs. Report compiled by Chadondo Moses.
Now, more children continue to suffer from eyesight problems in the country. Now, Sight Savers, a non-governmental organization that freely treats eyesight complications, says that this is due to premature and low birth weight in babies. Since last year, Sight Savers have operated 1,464 children countrywide. We have more.
Children sustain serious eyesight complications due to prematurity, low birth weight, bleeding in the brain, and infections in the mother during pregnancy. Sight Savers, a non-government organization that treats children with eyesight problems, says that 1 year alone, 1,464 children in the country have received eyesight operations since January 2013 to date. Over 31,063 have received treatment for eye conditions, while over 700,000 people have been reached with educational messages on child eye health countrywide.
This project was mainly implemented in the countryside, the intention being to reach out to disadvantaged and underserved sections of our populations, mainly, again, as it has been mentioned, through organizing eye camps.
The treatment helps reduce percentage of avoidable blindness and visual impairment among children aged 0 to 15 years in Uganda. According to the country director Site Savers, Johnson Gorok, 15% of the children in the country have a problem of eyesight complications and therefore need early intervention so as to give them a chance to go to school and become productive.
Through that particular initiative, over 10,000 people who had lost their sights had their sights restored. And we, as a result, able to once again become economically productive members of their respective communities.
The NGO hopes to treat over 45 million children in the region who would otherwise be blind. To ease service delivery, Standard Chartered Bank has donated a brand new Toyota Land Cruiser to Site Savers such that moving to the rural areas can be made easy.
This donation is made with the aim of aligning with the efforts to strengthen the government structures and government capacity to increase coverage, but also the referral system.
Now, Parliament's Budget Committee has stalled approval of government's proposal to secure 52 billion shillings to be used in aiding certain companies as tax incentives, including the payment of VAT. Now, legislators say extension of tax incentives to the companies ended according to the agreements made with them, and that now is the time for them to pay back. About 16 companies stand to be affected, including the Kalangala-based Bidco.
No, can't take it from that account.
Parliament's Budget Committee members have opposed government's request for 52 billion shillings in the 2014-2015 budget, money meant to aid companies in the tax holiday program, an incentive to industrial development.
Your sector committee is concerned that year in, year out, you indicate that you are going to do something about the leadership code, and you come back and do nothing. That's why they were moving your money, small as it is, the money of the ethics, directorate ethics, to other departments who appear to be more active.
Companies listed in the enjoyment of these benefits include the Kalangala-based palm oil production industry Bidco, Nyanza Textiles, Phoenix Logistics, hotels including Aya Hilton Hotel at Nakasero and J&M Hotel at Bwebaja, among others. Legislators who have opposed the Ministry of Finance, which say it's high time these companies begin to pay back to Ugandans given the time they have spent in operation. Others cite absence of a legal background through which government should keep extending a hand to these companies as the tax holiday was repealed 10 years ago.
Tax holiday was repealed about 10 years ago, and there is no longer exemption in the government. It is very unfortunate that governments wants to pay taxes worth 52 billion for companies that are making profits, companies that should pay tax, and then demand that my mother, my sister, your brother and your sister, your grandmother in the village should pay tax on salt, should pay tax on paraffin, and pay tax on everything.
Some legislators cite the fact that the aim of the tax holiday to cut down unemployment levels in the country has not been realized, as a few Ugandans are employed in these companies and hotels.
Now, all these agreements you had the Minister of Finance saying we have got agreements, we have signed them, given them letters, are wrongly premised, meaning they are committing taxpayers of Uganda to paying tax obligations of these companies without endorsement of Parliament as per legislation.
But to Chadono North legislator Robert Sebunya, the holiday is still essential for enabling industrial growth in the country.
But we have been given sufficient information that sometimes government makes those concessions and agreements within those those organizations, manufacturing groups like textiles, the hoteliers like Aya, the agricultural processors like the Bidco in Isese, and other NGOs and organizations, because sometimes they're strategic, sometimes it requires them to be empowered, so they are called incentives to those companies.
Now, there was low turn-up at the elderly persons meeting that was scheduled for today morning at the Poro Memorial Hotel in Kampala. Now, this was under the umbrella body, the Elderly Foundation, that wants to lobby government to address elders' plight in the country. Now, less than 50 out of the 150 guests invited turned up.
When I graduated during colonial days,
Despite the low turnout registered for the elderly meeting, the few present demanded government support and recognition of the elders in national planning and policy implementation. Out of the 150 invited guests, less than 50 turned up at Pop Paul Memorial Hotel under their umbrella organization, the Elderly Foundation. The elderly also want government to increase their pension since they have a lot of responsibilities.
But I don't see that 16,000 is enough for a person. Knowing the cost of living in Uganda and giving them 16,000 is just is a peanut. But it's better than nothing, but it's not enough. Really, we would have called upon those who are concerned in the government that we take care of our elderly people.
Has got medical problems. He can't afford the prices of the medicine. So I pray if the government can help the old men or old women to get subsidized medicine or to get free medical treatment.
But why the low turn-up?
We didn't invite one of those people. People, they turn up. I don't know why it has not been all that big, because even the leaders are there in the list. If you look at the list, we invited 150. So, but they turn up. This is just a matter of turn up.
The former Katikiro of Buganda, Dan Mulika, asked the elderly persons to remain active in society and remain united.
And it is time to tell them, a young one, a lady, a man, an elder, we must be together and work together. God has never separated us. These divisions, divide and rule, should stop. If you're a woman and a representative, I want you to represent all of us. If you're a man, represent everybody.
The idea of forming the Elders Foundation was initiated in 1992 as a non-profit making organization that would address the challenges of the elderly.
To be the leading source of inspiration, guidance, and providers of honest, impartial, and dependable advice, information, and training for the benefit of all Ugandans.
That very thing made.
Out of about 32 million people in the country, about 1.3 million are over 60 years of age and are elderly.
You're watching Urban at 9. Let's now take a look at the money markets report.
Let's now take a break and return with sports news.
This is Urban TV.